Have you ever noticed that sometimes the biggest thing stopping you from moving forward is not your situation, your talent, or even the people around you, but your own attitude? You may have good opportunities, but you keep thinking they will fail. You may have people who genuinely care about you, but you push them away because you believe you are better alone. And sometimes one bad experience changes the way you look at everyone. The truth is, life does not always change when your circumstances change. Sometimes life changes when your attitude toward those circumstances changes.
My name is Ayan, and welcome back to the channel. Here, we share meaningful stories that entertain you, but more importantly, leave you with something useful to carry into your real life. And today's story is about an eagle named Kai and a little sparrow named Coco. It is a story about loneliness, pride, friendship, and one powerful truth. You cannot always control what happens to you, but you can control the attitude you bring to it.
High above the clouds, where the air was cold and the mountains disappeared into the morning mist, there was a huge mountain covered with sharp rocks. Near the very top of that mountain stood a massive stone cliff. Between two large stones there was a narrow space that had become the home of an eagle named Kai. Kai was strong, his wings were wide, his eyes could see farther than almost any bird in the valley. He could fly higher than most birds could even imagine. From the top of the mountain, Kai could see everything. He could see the rivers shining under the sunlight. He could see the green forest below. He could see animals moving between the trees. He could even see the small birds flying from one branch to another. But there was one thing Kai could not see: happiness. Kai lived alone. He did not speak to other birds. He did not join them. He did not trust them. And whenever another bird came near his mountain, Kai would immediately fly away or turn his back. Many birds believed Kai was arrogant. Some thought he was rude. Others simply decided that he was not worth knowing. But the truth was different. Kai had once trusted another eagle. Years ago, when Kai was young, he had a close companion who promised to stay beside him during difficult times. But when a terrible storm came, that eagle disappeared. Kai waited for him. He searched for him, but he never came back. Kai never discovered what had happened. Instead of accepting the uncertainty, he created his own answer. He told himself, "People leave. Friends cannot be trusted. And if I never become close to anyone, nobody will ever have the chance to hurt me." That belief slowly became his personality. Kai was not born cold. He had simply practiced being cold for so long that he forgot how to be warm. Far below the mountain was a beautiful forest. The forest was filled with tall trees, colorful flowers, clear streams, and hundreds of birds. Among them lived a small sparrow named Coco. Coco was almost the opposite of Kai. She talked to everyone. She helped smaller birds find food. She shared her nest when another bird needed shelter. She knew the names of animals that most birds ignored. Coco believed that life became better when you stopped trying to live it alone. One morning, while Coco was flying above the forest, she looked toward the mountain. She saw Kai sitting between the stones. He was alone again. Coco had seen him many times, and every time she saw him, she wondered the same thing. Why does such a powerful bird look so lonely? One day, Coco decided to find out. She flew toward the mountain and landed on a small branch near Kai. "Good morning, Kai." Kai looked at her for a moment, then he turned away. "Go back to the forest." Coco smiled. "Why?" "Because I don't like company." Coco tilted her head. "Maybe you haven't met the right company." Kai stared at her. Then he said, "I don't need friends." Coco looked around. The mountain was silent. There was no other bird nearby. She calmly replied, "Maybe you don't need friends, but that doesn't mean you don't need people." Kai became irritated. "You don't know anything about me." "That's true," Coco said. "That's why I'm trying to know you." Kai said nothing. Coco stayed for another minute, then flew away. The next morning she came back. "Good morning, Kai." Kai sighed. "Why are you back?" "I wanted to say good morning." "I don't need good mornings." Coco laughed. "That's okay, I'll keep them until you do." And she flew away. She came back the next day, and the day after that. Every time, Kai gave her the same cold attitude. But Coco never responded with anger. She never tried to force friendship. She never tried to change Kai. She simply remained kind. One afternoon, heavy clouds suddenly covered the sky. The wind became stronger. The forest below became dark. Birds rushed toward their nests. Animals searched for shelter. Kai looked toward the valley. He immediately understood. A storm was coming. Kai flew toward a large rock and protected himself between the stones. But Coco was still in the forest. Kai saw her struggling against the wind. She tried to fly toward a tree, but a powerful gust pushed her backward. Kai watched. For a moment he thought, she should have listened to me. Then another thought came. She is going to get hurt. Kai spread his wings. He flew down through the storm. Coco was holding onto a thin branch when Kai reached her. "Come with me," he shouted. "I can't fly against this wind," Coco replied. Kai flew closer. "Hold on to my feathers." Coco grabbed onto him. Kai fought against the storm and carried her toward the mountain. It was not easy. The wind pushed them sideways. Rain struck their faces, but Kai continued. Finally, they reached the rocks. Coco entered the narrow space between the stones. Kai landed beside her. For a few moments, neither of them spoke. Then Coco smiled. "You came back for me." Kai looked away. "You would have died." Coco quietly said, "Thank you." Kai expected her to say more, but she didn't. She didn't tell him that she had been right about friendship. She didn't tell him that he needed people. She didn't use the moment to prove herself. She simply sat beside him. That silence affected Kai more than any speech could have. After the storm passed, Coco stayed for a while. Then she said, "I should go." Kai looked at her. "Why?" "Because you told me you don't like company." For the first time, Kai smiled slightly. "I still don't." Coco smiled back. "That's okay." And she flew away. The next morning, something unusual happened. Kai flew down to the forest. Coco was sitting near the stream. When she saw him, she was surprised. "Kai?" Kai landed beside her. "I was hungry." Coco looked at him. "There is plenty of food here." Kai nodded. "I know." Then he looked around. "There are also many birds here." Coco smiled. "Yes." Kai remained silent. Finally, he said, "I don't understand how you do it." "Do what?" "Trust people." Coco thought for a moment. "I don't trust everyone." Kai looked surprised. "Then why are you so friendly?" Coco answered, "Because I learned something." "What?" "Being kind doesn't mean believing everyone is good. It means refusing to let bad experiences turn you into someone you are not." Kai became quiet. Those words stayed with him. He had spent years protecting himself from being hurt. But while protecting himself from pain, he had also protected himself from friendship, laughter, conversation, and connection. He had mistaken isolation for strength. That day, Kai began visiting the forest more often. At first, he only sat near Coco. Then he started talking to other birds. Then he began helping them when they needed him. Something strange happened. The mountain did not change. His wings did not become stronger. His life did not suddenly become perfect. But his world became bigger because his attitude had changed. One evening, Kai and Coco were sitting near the edge of the forest. Coco asked, "Do you still want to live alone?" Kai looked toward the mountain. "I still like the mountain." Coco laughed. "I didn't ask about the mountain." Kai smiled. "No, I don't want to live alone anymore." Then he paused. "But I finally understand something." "What?" Kai looked at his wings. "I thought I was protecting myself from disappointment." He looked at Coco. But I was actually protecting myself from happiness too. Coco smiled, and that was the moment Kai truly understood the lesson. Your attitude is like a pair of glasses. If you wear glasses that say, "Nobody can be trusted," you will notice every betrayal. If you wear glasses that say, "Everyone is against me," you will notice every rejection. If you wear glasses that say, "I am unlucky," you will notice every problem. But if you change the way you see life, you begin noticing different things. Opportunities, lessons, good people, second chances, and possibilities. The world around Kai did not suddenly become perfect. Kai changed the way he looked at it, and that changed everything.
Now let's bring this story into real life. Maybe you are not living on a mountain like Kai, but perhaps you are carrying your own mountain. Maybe someone betrayed you, so now you don't trust anyone. Maybe someone rejected you, so now you are afraid to try again. Maybe you failed once, and now you have convinced yourself that you are simply not capable. Maybe someone treated you badly, and without realizing it, you started treating everyone else with the same cold attitude. This is where we need to be brutally honest with ourselves. Sometimes we blame life for our loneliness when our own attitude is pushing people away. Sometimes we say, "Nobody understands me," while never giving anyone a chance to understand us. Sometimes we say, "People always leave," while we keep building walls so high that nobody can get close enough to stay. Your past can explain your behavior, but it cannot become an excuse for keeping the same behavior forever. You are allowed to be careful. You are allowed to have boundaries. You are allowed to learn from betrayal. But don't let one bad person convince you that everyone is bad. Don't let one failure convince you that you are a failure. And don't let one painful chapter make you hate the entire story. Personally, if there is one lesson I would take from Kai's story, it is this. A powerful life does not come from having perfect circumstances. It comes from having the right attitude toward imperfect circumstances. You cannot control how people treat you. You cannot control every opportunity you get. You cannot control every loss. You cannot control what happened yesterday. But you can control what you decide to believe about it. You can decide whether pain will make you wiser or bitter. You can decide whether failure will make you stronger or scared. You can decide whether rejection will make you quiet or improve. And you can decide whether your past will control your future. That is real strength. Not pretending that everything is good, not smiling when you are hurting, but looking at reality honestly and still choosing a better response. Kai had the same mountain before and after he met Coco, the same wings, the same past, the same world. But he became a different bird because he developed a different attitude. And sometimes that's exactly what we need. Not a new life, not a new place, not new people. Sometimes we need a new way of looking at life we already have. So the next time something goes wrong, don't immediately ask, "Why is this happening to me?" Ask, "What attitude am I going to bring to this?" Because that decision may change far more than you realize. If this story gave you something to think about, don't just listen to it and move on. Take one lesson from it and apply it to your real life. Maybe forgive someone. Maybe give someone a chance. Maybe stop expecting the worst. Maybe start believing in yourself again. And maybe, just maybe, take off the glasses that have been making your world look darker than it really is. If you enjoyed this story, Make sure you subscribe to the channel and become part of this journey. And if you have not watched my previous story yet, go check it out after this video. You might find another lesson there that speaks directly to something you are dealing with in your own life. Until next story, remember, you may not be able to change everything around you, but you can change the attitude you carry to it. And sometimes, changing that one thing is enough to change your entire life.